Amen. So next, I'm going to invite up a special guest this morning. The principal of the French Immersion School, the Milwaukee French Immersion School, is here to join us. Gina Bianchi, you can come on up, Gina. I think, so I heard that at the school they call her Madame Bianchi, and I have like the farthest thing from a French accent possible. Madame, yeah. So I was like literally in the shower this morning, like Madame Bianchi, but not like just practicing. So when I asked her if I needed to introduce her as that, and she told me no, don't introduce me as that. It was good. But I'm just letting you all know I practiced. So Gina actually asked if she could come and speak with us. And we're excited to have her. And she's just going to tell us a little bit about how the experience of our relationship with the French Immersion School has been for them. So,
awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me here. I want to first just thank you for inviting me to come and worship with you here today. And thank you for Rob for the invite as well. I'm a little nervous. I wasn't feeling nervous on the way over here because I knew exactly what I was going to say, but now I was very into the worship, so please feel free to nudge me a little bit.
Sounds good.
If I forget what I'm saying. But I wanted to have this opportunity to come and speak with you today because I really do believe that the mission you have in your church and the vision we have in our school does align very much. And I know I've said thank you a few times, but I haven't really been able to share with you exactly what it's meant to have a relationship with you all. Oh yeah, thanks. That slide will help me. So I just wanted to come today to say thank you. I know that at Imago Dei, you guys are really committed to the community that you work with, that you serve. And I also know that you're very passionate about the works of the gospel. And I believe that we align very much in terms of that. Also today, if I can just add from my opportunity to be part of what we discussed beforehand and hearing what you have to say, I think there's a few other ways we align. Today, before we began, you were talking a lot about how important it is to multiculturalism and the idea of getting to know people that look differently from you, that maybe worship differently from you, live in different places, have different cultural backgrounds. And at our school, we feel that that's really important as well. Another theme that I heard is that it's really part of a journey and that you're never truly there. And for you all, that guidance comes from Christ. And for us at French Immersion, I feel that we're never there either, that the kids really guide our work, and we have so much more to learn and grow, and that we will never be there. We just talked about that at one of our last staff meetings, so I think that's another way we really align. But I wanted to just give you a real quick background about our program. So we just recently celebrated 40 years of being around. It's really exciting. And when we began on the south side, and it was part of an effort to desegregate Milwaukee public schools, really realizing that at the time, and even more so today, our schools were very, very segregated. So the thought was if we created these language programs that students and families would choose to attend these programs regardless of where they lived in the city of Milwaukee, and that therefore we would be racially integrated. These programs started off that way, and we actually had quotas of different races and the amount of students that would be entered in the program, but at some point that went away. And just by the very nature, sometimes of specialty programs, they can actually become more elitist throughout the years. Even the neighborhood we were in changed. It became more middle class at that time. And so about 15 years ago, they made a strategic move, and it was really about finances at that time because it would cost less to transport if we were in the city. But there was also some people that felt it was really important to make sure this opportunity was really available more to the inner city. So 15 years ago, we moved across the street. And at that time, our school began to struggle more. We were known as a school that had really high scores, and our school began to struggle a little bit as the population of our students changed. And many of you know a lot of that has to do with poverty, right? And so what our school did in response to that was have a practice where we would sort of counsel out a lot of students. And the students that did stay would really, really struggle in our program. And I can't say we're perfect at that now because there's still some students that have left our program, and it is really challenging. So for those of you who don't know, we immerse the kids in French all day long. So they really come to us, and starting in 4-year-old kindergarten, we speak to French to them all day. And we teach them a half an hour of English a week in the younger grade, through all the grades, where we teach them about social skills, and we want to do that in English, but really formal English instruction doesn't begin till 2nd grade. So it's a really awesome and unique opportunity, but what I found was, and when I decided to become a principal 5 years ago, is that we really needed to change how we taught, and that if we really wanted to serve the students that were sitting in front of us, we had to really think differently about how we teach. And so we took the concept of targeted universalism. And that's the idea that if you really take a look at what your students that struggle the most need the most, and really target your efforts and how to change how you teach, it will actually benefit all of your students. And so we took a look at the fact that we were an almost all white staff, and talked about how we were going to change our hiring practices and connecting with the community to make sure we had more people of color working in our program. We took a look at our curriculum and the teaching practices, and realizing that we did not have the best approaches in thinking about race and culturally appropriate practices, looking at our materials, looking at our engagement techniques, and a lot of different things. Also learning about our own backgrounds and learning about our students' backgrounds. So with that, I just wanted to say, at the same time I took over at principal is when, around the time that Pete came, and I remember him sitting in the waiting room, and I remember, or in our office, and I remember the secretary said, you know, there's somebody here from a church that wants to talk about it. And I was like, well, we got a lot on our plate. We're not going to have a church in our school. I don't even think you can do that. We're public. That's religious. So, and I just remember Pete was so patient and kept coming back. And I remember, I don't know if it was the secretary that came and was like, you should really give him a chance. Just hear him out. I think you might like what he has to say. So that's when our partnership began, and you guys began using our space. And I just, first of all, the teachers were really thrilled because they could work on Saturdays now, especially with all these new things I was putting on their plates. Now they got to work on Saturdays. And we noticed how beautiful the space was when you guys were using the building, and to me that was just awesome. So I wanted to just highlight a few of the things that you guys have done for us. And I don't have pictures for everything. I wish I had better pictures, but there's a few I wanted to share with you. This is just a picture of one of our family event nights. So I wanted to talk about the different volunteering that folks from Imago Dei have helped us out with. One of the biggest things is our open house that we have in the beginning of the year, which can be kind of chaotic, but again, we want our families to really feel welcome. And so there's many opportunities that we've had multiple volunteers come in and really support that and make it less chaotic. I'm looking at Bill nodding. I also really wanted to have a picture of Bill directing traffic, because I have to tell you, traffic has always been a big concern, and when we started keeping more kids in our program, we actually have gone from 400 students to 600, so it's a lot more than we even planned. We've had urban planners come and help us figure out traffic and directions and all sorts of things, but I'm telling you, the solution has really been Bill coming out there, because people less likely mess with Bill.
We need to get that on video.
Yeah. So I am going to take a picture so I can have a picture of that, but I think you were up north on Friday when I tried to find you, so. So with that, there's also been some mentoring opportunities, some one-on-one opportunities, and then our English program that's at the end of the day was also really awesome to have folks come in and work with our students during that unique English block. And I think, if you can go back one picture, I have a picture of our concert. So I also have to say we have really bad acoustics in our building, and it was really awesome to partner with Imago Dei, and we realized we could get some help from you guys when we heard the sound when you guys were worshiping. On the weekends, I was like, oh, that's really awesome. So we're slated to one day get a new sound system, which still hasn't happened. So we really appreciate you guys coming in and helping with the sound for our concerts and different school-wide events we have. Has been really awesome. So thank you for that. This is a picture of our end-of-the-year celebration. So one of the things, and you guys were really awesome about coming to us and saying, what do you guys need? And one thing I said is, like, I'm really not good at those end of the year, like, making things look really nice. You know, I'm good at getting down and dirty, but I'm not always good at, like, making things look nice. And I know that I needed to really celebrate the hard work of the staff. When we changed our vision, I'll be honest, some of our staff left. They were interested in Paris, they were interested in croissants, but they really weren't necessarily ready to figure out how we're going to support all of our students. So we got some new people in, and the people that stayed were really committed and wanted to do this work. So this was really awesome. At the end of the year, you guys come in and make this beautiful celebration for us where we don't have to do anything. and there's food. You make the tables look really beautiful. The staff just feels really happy and thankful, and it helps rejuvenate them and think about the summer, and even for self-care. So I just wanted to thank you for making that so special and so beautiful. This is also really awesome. I don't know if all of you guys know this, but you guys redecorated our staff lounge. And when we looked at our vision of keeping all of our kids, we really also had to look at how we were going to unite as a staff. We were an all-white teaching staff, but our support staff was not all white. And we realized we didn't really work together. We didn't talk together. I didn't know what the cook's vision is, how they could support us in this work. And so when we started having so you guys came in and made the most beautiful space possible. I think there's even some church pews in there. So there's a few pictures. I think there's one more slide after this. But it was really awesome to show that the staff really got together and got to know each other, which is really cool. You'll see even there's our cook laughing in one of the chairs, and I want to let you know right now one of the projects she's working on is to help us make labels in the cafeteria in French of the food. So when the kids come in, that she'll be much. She asked for help with the accents. You're not the only one. So, but that's another way that now they've gotten involved. And so it really has helped to build community amongst people that would not sit together and eat. And if we couldn't sit together and eat, how could we expect our families and students to get to know each other as well? So